late 2025, President Nelson Chamisa promised that he was going to bring something different. He said he was going to bring SUFFOCATE. And then early 2026, there is something which is coming out. President Nelson Chamisa wrote on his platform and said how change will happen. The truth about the citizens' victory in 2018 and 2023 cannot be hidden forever. What truly happened and who played what part in this massive fraud will be revealed to all. You can debase the truth, but you can't erase it. Truth is a way of resurfacing. It cannot be buried indefinitely. That is why they are terrified. The guilty are restless. So when you're looking at this statement, I know that a lot of critics, a lot of people would think that this is just a statement. But politically, it's not. It's a message which is being sent, a very powerful one. And let us be honest with each other, Team Zimbabwe. What is going to happen is President Nelson Chamisa is not issuing empty threats. He's actually telling the people what is going to happen, because everyone was asking President Chamisa, what is the way forward? And he's giving you the way forward to say, 2026, we are going to make sure that we put in place the much needed structures. Secondly, we are going to make sure that what happened in 2018 in 2023, which he believes were coups, will be put to light. What it means is there will be a legitimacy question coming back to haunt the ZANU-PF administration. It's not going to haunt the ZANU-PF administration only. It will go beyond borders. It will go to South Africa, that is Pretoria. It will go across the SADC region. And then the question will be asked even up to the United Nations to say, what are the roles, or what is the role of these very big organizations? Because they are supposed to make sure that international law and domestic laws are followed to the letter. So what is happening at this point in time, what this statement entails is simple. 2030 agenda is not going to see the light of the day. That is the reason why you see things changing in the nation of Zimbabwe. So questions are being asked, who is working with Nelson Chamisa? Because for that information to come out, there must be somebody from the system who is going to be there explaining kuti takanga tichitora takadai 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 takadai. These are the procedures and these are the processes. I'm going to give you an example. There are results which the opposition wanted the courts to look at. These were Zimbabwe Electoral Commission results from its own servers. They were saying, let us simply do an audit to the servers, and then we announce what is within the servers. That is in 2018. The courts refused and said, we need the physical residue. What it means is they wanted the opposition to come with the same evidence which they presented in court. Right now, the much intelligent people, the so-called intelligent people of Zimbabwe, they will tell you that the opposition did not present the much needed evidence, but they'll be lying. The truth is, evidence was brought in court and they were showing what went wrong, how did it go wrong and everything else. But the courts ignored everything because it was deliberate. In 2023, we also saw how the election results were manipulated. Announcement was supposed to happen at 7, but it was moved to 12 a.m. the next day. Why? It's because some people were busy committing a coup. While everybody was preparing to announce the correct results, somebody was initiating a coup. And then we ask questions, where are we going with such kind of people who cannot be trusted, people who are selfish, people who only think about themselves, who do not think and consider the people. So when you're looking at President Nelson Chamisa giving this statement, what I can tell the people of Zimbabwe is never lose hope in President Chamisa. Never lose hope in God. because everything will happen according to the plan of God. All these attacks, all these things which happened, it happened for a purpose. It happened for a reason. The 2030 rhetoric you are hearing, the 2030 this, 2030 that, 2030 this, it's also happening for a reason. Because when God wants to destroy people, he gives them false strength and power. Look at Pharaoh. When he heard that the Israelites are now going out and crossing over, he pursued them. And when he reached the Jordan, you can see that when he reached the Red Sea, there was dry ground, you see, and he pursued them up until God instructed Moses to do something, and they were consumed by the Red Sea. That is the same situation you are seeing right now. A lot of people are going to be consumed by whatever which they are doing. So you know, it's very, very interesting to see things change. You go to Venezuela. That Maduro thing was sold out by his own security. Recently, they arrested two security officials who they are accusing of switching off air defenses. Whether true or false, that is what they will do to each other. That is how they are going to consume each other, eat each other, kill each other. Because vanhu vachita zvinhu zvavo against the people, you never think kuti zvinongopera zvakadaro. You listen very carefully if you want to understand these things we are talking about. Go and listen to the history of Chitepo, how Chitepo was killed, why he was killed, who killed him. And then the same people who is accused of killing Chitepo was also killed the same way he killed Chitepo. He was killed. And there is no explanation how he died. The same way there is no explanation how Chitepo died. Then you look at the person who is accused of killing that one who killed Chitepo. He also died without an explanation. How do you explain how a whole military general, a trained military general, died from fire from a candle? Muimba inema window asina bagla bars. How do you explain that? Then you move forward to the person who killed that person. They will still die the same way. The way they removed Mugabe, they will be humiliated far worse than the humiliation of Robert Mugabe. That is what happens when God is not on your side and when God is siding with the people. So the message is simple to the people of Zimbabwe. Let us trust God, and let us trust that whatever God is going to do in Zimbabwe, it will be for the best interest of the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Chamisa has to issue threats are empty. He is simply coming out to speak some of the things which we predicted way back, to say this is what is going to happen. And 2026 is very, very interesting. ZANU PF, they are on each other's throats. Who believed that ZANU PF will have two major factions, and we will also have factions within factions? Look at the Mafidi faction. Faction after faction. There are people who are disagreeing on how to deal with certain issues. There are people who are disgruntled because they were removed from the positions which they had, and they are trying to use their influence because they are very, very close, and they will be trying by all means possible to cause chaos and everything. If it is happening within their own faction, and their own faction is, or the existence of their own faction is threatened, what about the existence of ZANU PF? So those disgraced and those disgruntled, do you think they are going to simply accept everything and say, we are losing? No, they won't surrender. They're going to fight back. And as the citizens of Zimbabwe, I always say, let us have a clear plan about what we must do about what must happen. And I just want to say this lastly. Those who are going to be discerning will be the ones who are going to be happy at last. There are a lot of people who had positioned themselves to be part and parcel of the future, but they've destroyed that because they are jumping around left, right, and center. And also because of their divisive tendencies. They've been trying to divide people left, right, and center. And sometimes you attack people without facts. You attack people because you hate them simply because they do not entertain or they did not entertain your idea. If your idea is not entertained, it doesn't mean that you are not important. It doesn't mean that you are useless. It's just that your idea is not the best idea. We give advices, we give ideas, we share a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that if my idea, if my advice is not followed, I'm useless. It doesn't mean like that. But what it means is there is a better idea. If you believe that yours was the best idea and probably it was not taken, repackage your idea and then go and give it again. Or who knows, maybe the idea taken is not going to work. I want to give you a clear example. During the 2023 elections, we made a lot of suggestions on how we can confront ZANU-PF in the rural areas. But those who were very popular those days were telling us, go and map, go and do A, B, C, D. They had the influence, they had the power. They were very, very close to everybody at the top. They were heard, but their ideas failed. We never lost hope. We continue to fight, and we continue to fight right now. So this is where we are going to in Zimbabwe. President Chamisa says he's going to deal with this issue. And what I know is we are going to have results, because this is the end, not of ZANU, of Emmerson Mnangagwa, but the end of ZANU-PF entirely. So for those who believe, continue believing. For those who don't, continue to watch and see what is going to happen. So Zimbabwe, I know that it's very difficult to tell someone to say tomorrow you will see things changing. But just like what happened in Venezuela, all of a sudden, somebody who was so powerful just woke up and is no longer there. Things will happen because when God says yes, no man will say no. What happens is sometimes things just happen late according to our own timelines, but according to God's timelines, everything happens in its own time. So I just want to acknowledge my brother Dumisani. Thank you very much for the contribution, and thank you very much for coming. I'm okay this side. So this is it. I love you all, and let us meet in other episodes as well as other broadcasts.